Ever since I was a child, I tried hard to be praised, studied hard to make my parents proud, played sports well to earn my friends' respect. And when I started working, I aimed for high positions, not because I loved the job, but because it sounded impressive. I didn't choose my career out of passion. I chose it for its to hold a prestigious position, for the way people nodded in approval whenever I introduced myself. I worked day and night. I was always the reliable one, on time, on target, on point. I didn't take holidays. I didn't know how to say no. I was the one you could always count on. But each night when I came home, I felt exhausted. Not because of work, but because I didn't know who I was without those compliments. I used to believe I was only worthy of love when I was good enough, useful enough, successful enough to earn admiration. And I lived that way for nearly half of my life. At the height of my success, I had almost everything: money, position, a house, a car, a reputation. I was invited to speak. People asked me for advice. I was admired, but I wasn't happy. I was constantly afraid that if I slowed down, if I stepped back, no one would need me anymore. A friend once asked me, "If you stopped doing this job, who would you be?" And I couldn't answer. I realized I was no longer a real person. I was a role I created and got stuck inside. I started losing sleep. My emotions dried up. I lost interest in anything that didn't serve my image. I came home late, stopped talking to my child. My wife grew quiet, then distant. My friends stopped calling for coffee. They said, "You're always busy." I realized many people knew me, but no one really knew me. And I didn't even know myself. After turning 60, I retired. I stopped doing things just because they looked good to others. I planted trees. I wrote down old stories. I listened to music, not to meet deadlines, but to feel. I learned to sit still, to look out a window, to ask people how they were, not out of politeness, but because I genuinely cared. I began to live again, and I found something I'd lost long ago: myself. Not the successful, productive, model citizen version, just a human being, still learning to live each day with more lightness and more honesty. Now, I don't need applause. I don't need recognition. All I need is to be able to look in the mirror and smile. Young friend, if you're doing everything just to be praised, to be seen, to not be left behind, pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I leaving myself behind? Don't wait until life has passed you by to turn around and search for who you are. Because the only person whose recognition truly matters is your own.